Welcome to Hatman Strikes Back Daily Boxing News. So this week, Luke Partridge, aka Tyson Fury, is once again trying to con the fans into believing that he was robbed in both Alexander Usyk fights. He's trying to act as though anyone who knows anything about boxing is in agreement with him. And the only people who would disagree are people who don't know anything about boxing or people who have an agenda against him. The problem with this narrative that Tyson Fury is pushing, however, is the fact that two independent punch stack companies in CompuBox and Jabba both had Alexander Usyk outlanded him in both fights. Not only in the majority of the rounds, but also in power punches. And in the case of Jabba, high impact power punches. Punches that do damage. Yes, they had Alexander Usyk outscoring Tyson Fury in that metric as well in both fights. And to top it all off, Tyson Fury's own brother Shane, after initially thinking that his brother had won the fight, the first fight I'm talking about now, when he was sat there ringside because he was caught up in the moment supporting his family and so on, days later, having watched the fight back on TV for a second or third time, he did another interview and said that Usyk had actually won the fight. Oh yes, the video's still up. Shane Fury scored the fight in favor of Alexander Usyk. That's Tyson's brother. That's a guy who was there to support Tyson. So this silly narrative that Mr. Luke Partridge and his dad John are pushing about being jobbed on the cards in both fights is either bizarre delusion or it's an attempt to gaslight the public. Now, why would Tyson Fury want to gaslight the public? Well, first of all, his ego is seriously damaged. He always wanted to believe that he was the best heavyweight in the world, and Alexander Usyk has snatched that dream away from him. But also, Tyson Fury always wanted the public to believe that he was the best heavyweight in the world. The fact that they don't really irks him. It really upsets him. Here's a guy who basically wanted to be able to con his way into the history books. Yes, he has had some decent wins, but rather than doing what Mike Tyson did, or Joe Louis, or Muhammad Ali, or Lennox Lewis, and actually take on all comers, Luke Partridge, aka Tyson Fury, thought that he could take on dangerous opposition only very sparingly, and in between those fights, take on a bunch of cream puffs. And brainwash the public into thinking that he'd beat all the other dangerous contenders. He'd beat all the other champions. And there's no need to fight them, therefore. This is what Tyson Fury has attempted to do for many years in his career. But eventually the public cottoned on to what he was doing. Pressure was applied, along with a massive check from the Saudis. And Tyson Fury's hand was forced into eventually, after 2 years of running, take on Alexander Usyk. But it turned into a nightmare for him. He lost twice, and now he's still on damage limitation. This guy really is something else. Partridge said that the only fight he's really interested in coming back for out of his little fake retirement would be an Alexander Usyk trilogy, a fight which very few people would want to see because we're not buying the narrative that Tyson Fury was jobbed in the first two fights. But Fury is hesitant to fight anyone else because if he does and he loses, not only does the myth that he's the number one heavyweight in the world get obliterated once and for all, but he would not even be able to claim that he's the number 2 heavyweight in the world either. And that would be too much for Tyson Fury's ego to take. That's why he's very cautious about coming back against anyone other than Alexander Usyk. Now, that's not to say that he won't. Perhaps his hand will get forced. Maybe Turki Al-Sheikh will insist that he has to have one fight before an Usyk trilogy match. And of course, that would be contingent, presumably, on Usyk getting past Dubois for a second time. Because Tyson Fury did briefly, in a Q&A with the press, entertain the possibility of fighting Anthony Joshua. He said if the Usyk trilogy match doesn't happen, then he may look at an AJ fight. And as for Daniel Dubois, he said, hypothetically, if he decided to come back out of retirement and fight Dubois, it would be a one-sided beatdown. This is what he claims. If he's as confident as he's making himself out to be, then let's say Dubois beats Usyk in the rematch, we should expect the Tyson Fury fight next. No? What would be the reason to hesitate? Never listen to what Tyson Fury says or never take his word at face value. Instead, watch his actions. I always found it interesting that his brother Shane, his manager Spencer Brown, and his promoter Frank Warren have all said that they wouldn't want Luke Partridge, aka Tyson Fury, to fight Daniel Dubois. Shane actually expressed concern for his brother Tyson's health regarding that fight. Oh yes, he did. And he knows him better than the vast majority of people on this planet. He also knows Dubois quite well. Dubois sparred Tyson Fury back in the days. Sparred Huey Fury as well. So anyway, the Fury circus rolls on. It's important that whenever he comes out with this nonsense about being jobbed in both Usyk fights and says he wants to come back only for Usyk, it's important that we, the public, instead pressure him to fight other heavyweights. We cannot allow any kind of momentum to build behind an Usyk trilogy match as things stand right now. No. Tyson Fury needs to earn that shot. I know he's been aided and abetted by the WBC, who say that he can come back and get an immediate shot at their title whenever he decides to unretire. We need to pressurize them too, but particularly Partridge. We need to be vocal about the fact that we do not want a trilogy match with Usyk. And by the way, as you guys know, I've got the most amount of respect for Alexander Usyk. He's a true throwback fighter, a true throwback champion. But my motto in this channel has always been, no fighter is below praise and no fighter is above criticism. And if Alexander Usyk decided, let's say he beats Daniel Dubois in a rematch, to then go on and fight a trilogy match with Tyson Fury in his next bout, I'd be criticizing Usyk as well. Massively so. Why would you recycle opponents who you've already beaten twice when they haven't done anything in the meantime? So let's hope that Usyk doesn't disappoint me like that. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Are you surrounded by mindless bots in human form who adhere to the norm and blindly conform, who swallow all the mainstream BS and actually ridicule you for questioning things? Do you wish you had more free-thinking individuals in your life to network and converse with? Well, look no further. We're right here. Come and join the Brotherhood of Reason on Patreon. You'll gain access to my weekly topical content where we take deep dives on an endless variety of subjects, as well as my vast back catalogue of podcasts, videos, interviews, movie decodings, and my Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You'll also get to talk and network with myself and hundreds of other people in our members chat. You can enjoy all this via the Patreon app or on desktop and download all my podcasts in high-quality MP3. There's no contract, no commitment. You can cancel at any time, just like Netflix, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper. Just download the app from the Play Store or the App Store, or simply visit patreon.com on a web browser. Then head on over to my page and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. All the links are in the description box below. And just a quick money-saving tip for Apple users. If you purchase your Patreon subscription on the desktop site or on Android, then you'll avoid the ridiculous 30% fee that Apple charges for purchases made on the iOS app. So if you're on iPhone or iPad, save yourself some money by buying your subscription on the actual Patreon website or on Android, because it's a lot cheaper. Once you've made that initial purchase, you can then use the Patreon app on your iPhone or iPad thereafter to access and enjoy your content as normal.